People often ask me how I manage to do so much. Build wealth, keep learning, stay healthy, spend time with family, and still somehow have peace of mind. The truth is, I don't manage it all, not every day. I'm not superhuman. But what I do have are systems. And those systems carry me when motivation doesn't. Because let's be honest, motivation is unreliable. It's like a guest that shows up when it wants to. But systems, they stay. They're what keep the lights on when everything else feels heavy. Today, I want to share the 3 things that changed how I operate. 3 systems that made my success inevitable. Not through grinding harder, but through designing smarter. 1. Capture and commit. For years, I kept everything in my head. You know that feeling, always thinking, I'll start this soon. I'll read that book. I'll launch that project. And weeks pass, months. Nothing really moves. That was me. Until one day a mentor told me, if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. It sounded too simple to be true, but it hit me. So I started writing things down, and not just goals, but commitments. Every quarter I sit down and define 3 priorities only. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Under each one, I write 3 short lines. 1 specific outcome I want, 1 small habit that drives it, and 1 emotional reason why this matters to me. And that last one, that's the key. When your brain sees the what and your heart feels the why, you stop making excuses. I keep that list on 1 single page. No apps, no noise. And every morning before opening my phone, before emails, I read it once. It takes 5 seconds. But those 5 seconds shape my entire day. It's funny, people think productivity is about doing more. It's not. It's about remembering what matters. That's what capture and commit really means. 2. Build check-in momentum. Now here's the part no one talks about. Writing goals is easy. Keeping them alive, that's where people fail. So I built something I call check-in momentum. It's simple. Once a week, I sit down for 5 quiet minutes. No phone, no music. Just me and that 1 page. I look at where I am. What's moving forward? What's stuck? And more importantly, why? Then I mark each of my 3 priorities as green, yellow, or red. Green, good progress. Yellow, needs attention. Red, off track. And when something turns red, I don't get angry with myself. I don't shame it. I just ask, what in my system broke? Because see, when you think like a builder, every failure becomes feedback. You stop blaming yourself and start improving the design. That small ritual, 5 minutes a week, changed everything. It gave me something I never had before, visible progress. Even in the chaos of work, even during burnout, I could see that something was moving forward. And that visibility, that's what builds momentum. Not hype, not willpower, just small wins stacking up in plain sight. 3. Design for reality. Now this one took me years to understand. At one point, I kept designing my routines for the perfect version of myself. The version that always wakes up early, always has energy, always says no to distraction. But that guy, he only shows up 2 days a week. The rest of the time, I'm human, tired, distracted, busy. So I stopped designing for perfection. I started designing for reality. Now, whenever I create a plan, I start by asking, what's going to break this? And then I build around that. If I know evenings are busy, I shift my deep work to mornings. If I know travel kills my workouts, I plan hotel routines I can do anywhere. If I know my motivation dips midweek, I schedule my hardest work on Monday. It's not about willpower, it's about architecture. Sometimes I'll even use what I call band-aids, temporary hacks that hold the system together while I fix the deeper issue, like using timers to stay focused, or a calendar alert to remind me to stretch. They're not permanent, they're training wheels. The goal is to eventually make those habits automatic so the band-aids can come off. Because here's the truth. If your system only works when life is perfect, it's not a system. It's wishful thinking. Design it so it works on your worst days, and you'll never lose momentum again. Now, with these three ideas, capture and commit, check in momentum, and design for reality, they don't stand alone. They form a loop. You capture what matters, you check in to stay aligned, you design adjustments that make it sustainable. That's the loop that builds freedom. You're not reacting anymore. You're steering, and that's where control returns to your life. Most people live in reaction mode. Their day starts when their phone wakes up. Their goals are just floating ideas. But when you have systems, you run the day doesn't run you. That's real freedom. I'll tell you something I learned the hard way. Success doesn't come from sudden bursts of motivation. It comes from quiet consistency, from building the kind of structure that keeps moving even when you don't feel like it. Every big result I've had, business, fitness, relationships, all came down to one thing: improving my systems. Not huge changes, just small, repeatable tweaks that compound quietly over time. If you take one thing from this conversation, let it be this: don't chase motivation. Design for consistency. Because the moment your habits stop depending on your mood, you've won. If this conversation resonated with you, try something simple today. Grab a notebook or open your notes app. Write down 3 priorities for the next 90 days. Under each one, write 1 outcome, 1 habit, and 1 reason why it matters. That's your first system. Keep it visible. Revisit it weekly. Watch your life shift. And if you found value here, share this with someone who's working hard but without structure. Because sometimes all we need isn't more effort, it's better design. Thanks for listening. Stay focused, stay consistent, and keep building your system.